friends, welcome back to my channel. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas Eve. Today is Friday, December 24th. I am so excited. It's almost Christmas Day. We are way behind in terms of preparation for Christmas, but that's standard. There's one thing that I've done successfully. We have gotten to day 24 of Vlogmas. Like I said in my video yesterday, because it was just a realization, real time, I've never been so successful with doing a challenge here on YouTube. I've never posted all the videos in Vlogmas before. So we're up to day 24. Today's video is going to go up because I have the submission to edit and it's awesome. I'm just so proud of myself and I'm so excited that so many of you took this Vlogmas book list challenge, daily challenge journey with me. It's been fun. Thank you so much to all the people who participated by sending me copies of pictures of their bookshelves. For all of you who took the daily quiz and the challenge and left me comments with how many of the books you've read. It's been awesome. So we're going to try to keep going. We're going to try to keep it going until the end of the month. We'll see how that goes. I do have a few more bookshelf videos and pictures to share with you, so that's coming up. But we're here today for Friday Reads update, and I don't have much to report. I've been reading a lot, but I haven't been finishing a lot. So far this week, I've only finished one book, so I'll tell you about it because I'm here to gush. I read Tahira in Bloom by Farah Heron, and this was awesome. It is YA, contemporary YA. It's romance because there is a romantic element, but this book is so much more. I don't read a lot of YA. You guys know that. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I don't read a lot of young adult novels, but I do read books for publishers. And sometimes they send me these synopses of books and I say, yeah, that sounds really interesting. This was one of the best. I really, really adored this book. It's set in Canada. We have a main character who's 17 years old and she is South Asian background. Her parents are Indian. She's grown up in Canada. And, you know, you've heard the stereotypes about Asian families, Asian parents, and how demanding they are that their children succeed. And that's not just Asian parents, that's immigrant parents in general. You know, you make a big sacrifice to leave your country and leave behind everything you know and go start new in a different country. You encounter prejudice sometimes in more ways than you could even imagine. And you do it because you want a better life for yourself and for your children, hopefully in the future. And so there's a lot of pressure on immigrant parents for their children to not make some of the mistakes that they made and to make sure that their kids are not held back, right, by not knowing about opportunities. So maybe it seems that these immigrant parents are demanding, but it's just because they have their children's best interest at heart, I think. At least that's how I'm going to spin it when I talk about my goals for my daughter. Just kidding. So in any case, we have this 17-year-old girl, and since she was a child playing with Barbies, she's wanted to be a fashion designer, and her parents are like, yeah, if you could make this a success, you could be big. So they've been working for the past 10 years with her on this plan to become a fashion designer. And so everything that she does, all her hobbies, her extracurricular activities, everything, her relationships are all with this view for her to polish up her portfolio to get accepted to FIT in New York. And so this summer, she's supposed to have an internship with a designer, and something happens and she's not able to do that anymore. And so they find her a job in another place where she's going to be working still in fashion, kind of, but not really. It also requires her to move and be in this small town. And so it's all about what happens that summer. You know, the standard YA story, except this one is just so non-standard. It's about her finding a new journey and finding how this new path that seems to be a little bit of a distraction may actually help her accomplish her goals even more. It's about what she learns and how she learns it and who teaches it to her. It's about fashion design and floral arrangement and marrying the two ideas of design and how you take two different elements and put them together to create something that's even better than the sum of its parts. And oh man, you learn so much about life and about design and arrangement, and also social media and influence culture, influencer culture. And this book is amazing. The writing is just awesome. And I love that there isn't a lot of the sexual stuff, a lot of the sexual tension that YA writers sometimes write into books to make it appeal to adult readers as well. I felt like this book was a lot more fresh, a lot more targeted towards its real audience, and I loved it. I loved it. Tahira in Bloom by Farah Heron. Did I mention that there is a side character in this book who is a booktuber? Like, hello, and she's adorable, and I want her to have her own story next year. And this is such a gorgeous book. So this is the cover. Like this is the designer. I love that you have this main character who is a woman of color. And even though it's an avatar of her, she's looking right at you. She's making eye contact. Quite often, you find covers that have characters of color. They're in profile or they're in a background somewhere. I like that she's looking right at you. And then all these flowers behind her and the title. And oh man, look at this naked hardback. It's like shades of green, a spectrum. We've been doing book colors this past few days. So this is awesome. And then of course the flower in the middle and off to the side here. I love this. I love this book. So if you're still looking for a short read to round out your 2021 reading, if you, like me, are still trying to catch up on reading challenges and you need a recommendation for a book that may meet some of your requirements, this is a book about a South Asian character. And Reading Women Challenge this year had you reading a middle grade novel. This isn't middle grade, but it's YA, so maybe you could just replace that. So yeah, Tahira in Bloom by Farah Heron was the one book that I finished so far this week. So yeah, that's the one book that I finished so far this week. I have made a lot of progress on quite a few other books, so I'll tell you a little bit about them. I'm reading A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I am set to finish that today, which was the plan. So I could have put off making this video later today after I'd finished it, but I didn't want to do that. So I have to make hay while the sun shines, or make videos while the kiddo sleeps. So that's what we're doing. So yeah, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I'll gush about that when I'm done. I am loving it. I love how different Charles Dickens novels are, that no matter how many of his books I've read so far, none of the two are similar. Scrooge is exactly as as his name has come to mean in popular culture. Scrooge is terrible, man. It's the perfect book to read to get into the Christmas spirit, because you want to be the anti-Scrooge. If you've ever received any of the messages about Christmas and commercialization and why do people do this and all of that, read A Christmas Carol again. Reread it if you have already. Just to remind yourself of the true meaning of Christmas and how your perception of Christmas has changed since you were a child, and maybe how you need to return to some of those more innocent reactions. So we'll talk about that, I guess, in my next Friday Reads, or maybe I'll make a vlog style addition to this later. Maybe that's what we'll do. Because I have so much I want to share with you. It snowed last night. We woke up this morning, Christmas Eve, there's snow on the ground, and it's amazing because they predicted that today would be warmer than it was yesterday, and that the people who wanted a white Christmas were not probably going to be happy. But we woke up to a white Christmas Eve anyway. But I'm talking about books, right? So yeah, I'm almost finished with A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. We'll talk about that later. I'm also reading this book. The publisher sent this to me to feature, and reading the synopsis, it checks a lot of my boxes, and I'm not very far, but if the family sleeps much longer, I may even finish it today. This is All That Is Secret. Author is Patricia Raybon, and it's about a professional Black woman. She is a scholar. She's working at a Bible college, and she gets news that her father has been murdered. This is in the 1920s in Chicago. And she gets news that her father has been murdered back in the small town where she is from. And so she's decided to return home to try to solve his murder. And this is at a time when the KKK is operational, and it's not good for her to be where she is. But This book checks a lot of my boxes. The synopsis gave me such vibes like I really need to read this book right now. So All That Is Secret by Patricia Raybon is an Annalise Spain mystery, and I am here for it. It is black professional people, it's religion, it's education, academia, it's puzzles, it's sleuthing, it is in Sherlock Holmes style. So more on this when I finish as well. And of course, I'm also buddy reading Dead Wake by Eric Larson. And this book got really messed up this week because my daughter put it in a puddle of juice on the table. Why was there a puddle of juice? Because I have a 2-year-old. So the last crossing of the Lusitania is the focus of this book, and it's great. I have a lot of tabs already, and I'm just in part 1. So Eric Larson does narrative nonfiction like nobody's business, and I love that because this is the third or fourth of his books that I'm reading. Read Splendid and the Vile, read the one about the wireless technology. What was that called? Thunderstruck. And I guess this is number 3, Eric Larson's Dead Wake. And elements that he explored in those books are coming back here, so that's awesome. So more on this later as well. And yeah, aside from that, I downloaded a couple of books onto my Kindle from the New York Public Library app, and it's awesome. I'm going to be reading The End of the Affair by Graham Greene, as well as Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, and hoping to finish those for next week. So my next Friday Reads video, which will be the end of the year, hope I'll be able to tell you about those books as well. So yeah, that's what I'm reading today. Stick around for vlog style footage of the rest of the day so that I can publish this later today, I'm hoping. But even if I don't include those things, thank you so much for watching thus far. Thank you so much for everyone that watches my videos and comments and supports my channel in whatever way. I really appreciate you. Wishing you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, enjoy it. And thank you so much. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Let's chat down there. And until next time, happy reading.
Maybe.
And a kid trying to sneak up gift before Christmas time. Here I'm getting the meat ready to marinate overnight. We're doing a roast for Christmas dinner. We're also, and by we I mean me, I'm also baking a Christmas cake and getting the saltfish soaked for our traditional Jamaican breakfast tomorrow. Ackee and saltfish. That's the saltfish. That's the sorrel, which is the Jamaica's unofficial national Christmas beverage. So we're making Christmas cake. This is the butter and sugar that we're going to cream. This is the flour with baking powder, salt, nutmeg, cinnamon, orange zest. This is the recipe I'm using. This came from a supplement in a newspaper that my mom cut out. Well, not cut out, but she saved it and sent it to me 13 years ago, December 2008. This is the fruits that I've been soaking for a few days. The ladies in Jamaica, the women who used to make black cake, they'd soak this for a year. I didn't have a year. I bought the maraschino cherries and the cranberries and the raisins, and I'm soaking them in sorrel because I'm not using red label wine, which is, or rum, which is what a lot of the ladies use. And here's my little helper. Hello.